today is a very special day because we are going to be introducing advanced level statistics. Saka tinotangira papi in our study of statistics. Let us begin with defining statistics. Saka tinoti statistics, it refers to the collection, collation, presentation, analysis, and interpretation then in brackets dot mainly of kana kuti mainly quantitative, saka it's interpretation of, forgive me, panapa it's interpretation of mainly quantitative data. Saka we are going to be examining this definition and we are going to give clarity to it. Color coding ye lesson redu, zvantinonyora in white, you should put that in your notes. Then zvantinonyora in other colors, these are just illustrations. You can elect to put them in your notes or you can elect not to, but zvantinonyora in white, these are the notes which you should record. Saka, looking at this definition, there are certain things we want to clarify. Statistics refers to the collection, collation, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of mainly quantitative data. Saka, chekutanga, tiri kuita remove this caricature of the study of statistics. Vanhu vazhinji vanofungidzira kuti statistics is merely counting. Saka most people, they think statistics comprise entirely of the collection of data. But no, statistics include collation, presentation, analysis, and interpretation. So kutoti collecting, collating, and presenting, these are fundamentals of statistics, but statistics is more interested in analyzing and interpreting data. Okay. Kopatino yakanzi quantitative data. What exactly are we referring to? Saka, we are going to be looking at this, but I just want to preempt. In statistics, we mainly have two types of data. Saka, when we look at types of data, and data, we want to define data as unprocessed information. That is our definition of data, a very simplistic definition, unprocessed information. And what you should know is we take data and we collect, and present this data. When we analyze and interpret data, our aim is to create information. Saka mufunga kuziva kuti data, that's the physical counting, for example, of people. Muri vangani mu class tiri 50, that is data. But kana takuzotora that data, we add analysis and interpretation, then we end up having information. That is what you should know. Saka the types of data, kureva kuti that which is collected, zvatinopinda mu field kuno collector, that which is collated. We are going to define these terms, don't worry. That which we present, we mainly have what is referred to as qualitative data. Saka tine qualitative data, toita quantitative data. Our definition yaita clarify kuti what we mainly deal with in statistics is quantitative data, but you should also know kuti in statistics, we also deal with qualitative data. Kana tichiti quantitative data, tiri kureva numeric data. And kuti numeric, the term numeric is simply saying numerical. Saka quantitative data idata rinenge rine numbers. How many are you in your class? We are 50. That's quantitative data. Mapaona. Saka even if mukatora the term quantitative, munoona kuti this term shares roots with the word quantity, and quantity zvinongoreva kuti how many. Quantity is the number of objects. Mapaona. That is what quantity is. Now qualitative data, though tichidila qualitative data, but we deal with it to a lesser extent. Qualitative data, it's non-numeric. We are going to expand upon this. I'm just preempting. Saka, what is an example of qualitative data? Tinogona kutaura about a Likert scale as an example. What do we mean by Likert scale? It's, for example, tikati rate your pain from 1 to 10. Kana makamboona any mashow ane chekuita ne medicine, like The Good Doctor, kana kuti makamboenda ku hospital imimi, the doctor can ask you, can you rate your pain from 1 to 10? Saka it's a scale. And so you don't have to think kuti it's numeric because we are citing a number 1 to 10. Muchazozona patichazoita take this as a topic, pateketa kudiscuss types of data. Kuti qualitative data, it also branches off into two main categories, where we have categorical data is semi-numeric and categorical data it is semi-numeric. Saka kana nchiti preempt, I just want to steer your mind. And saka izvi zvatiri kutsanangura panapa tichazozvitsanangura later. I was just clarifying the term quantitative. Kuti quantitative is data rine manamba. Our next step in note taking, kutarisa this definition, and we want to define terms. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this part. Remember, this is not strictly part of your notes. This was just to preempt. Then we are going to look individually at these main terms. So in science, when you are defining things, jargon is very important in science. Kana chiti jargon triguti specialized language. Saka, of course, there's no question in what is statistics, but this definition is material pakukupai an idea of what to expect. Statistics refers to the collection. What do we mean kana tichiti collection? So that is what we want to look at. So when we say collection, what are we referring to? This refers to the gathering of data but the data which is gathered should be suitable to address particular research objectives. So gathering of data suitable to address particular research objectives. Statistics dzinoitirwa for research. Mapaona. Saka we gather data so that we can use it in research. Saka collection is the gathering process. How is it done? It can be through a survey, be it a physical survey, a questionnaire, kana kuti a survey you take on the internet. It can be through physical counting. It can be through a lot of methods, and one of the main methods is obviously a census. That's collection. Okay, what do we mean by collation? Kana chiti collation tinenge tichimborevei. Saka collation involves the classification or categorization of data. Classification or categorization of data. Let us say the piece of data we are interested in is the number of students in class menu, and you say in class menu we are 50, and you are doing advanced level and you are 50 in your class. Let us say class yenyu commercials and there are 50 students taking commercials. Collation manje ndiye kuti teta kufunza kuti how many boys, how many girls. 30 boys 20 girls. Murikupaona kana kuti 30 girls 20 boys. We are now categorizing, we are now classifying. We can further classify how many students are taking economics, how many are taking accounting, how many are taking business studies, how many are taking pure mathematics, statistics, etc. Saka these are classes, these are categories. Saka patino collecta data, imagine a census. Vananofamba, those who are employed by the state to collect information during a census, vanosvika voverenga kuti household yenyu nevanhu vangani, then they ask questions, vanoenda kubasa ndevapi, vanoenda kuchikoro ndevapi, vanoenda kuchikoro kupi, etc. Anditika? Then all that information, we specifically, strictly, typically we call it data. All that data is then collected. It's now categorized. It's now classified. Murukupaona. Saka that's what we mean by collection. Our example would be classification according to gender. Let me write it down. So example, we can have classification according to gender, income, age, etc. These are different classes we can put data in. That is what collation refers to. Okay? If we then look at the term, the keyword presentation, what do we mean? Kanachiti presentation, or rather, how do we present data? The data which we have collected, the data which we have collated. Saka presentation studies a wide array of instruments used as visual aids to illustrate particular observations. Saka for presentation, tirikuti these are visual aids used to illustrate data. Saka what do we mean kana tichiti visual aids? Tukureva something which we can see. Examples would be pie charts, histograms, bar graphs, scatter graphs, scatter plots. There are a lot of visual aids. A very lot of visual aids, and we are going to be looking at some of them. So presentation studies a wide array of instruments used as visual aids to illustrate particular observations. Some of the prominent instruments include, as we have stated, pie charts, bar graphs, histograms, and scatter plots. We also have what are called ogives. I think these are going to be new ogives, etc. Okay? Our next keyword is analysis. Takuchipinda pani zvatinenge tichistudya chaizo. We are going to be studying a lot of analysis and interpretation, especially analysis. So analysis refers to the breakdown of existing data so as to draw up meanings and make decisions. Saka this is the breakdown of data sets. Data sets is where we are collecting the data. Saka the breakdown of existing data sets. Why do we break them down? So as to draw up meanings and make decisions. Ultimately, we want to make decisions. We want to make informed, intelligent decisions. Hatidi kungotaura kuti take it at a governmental stage. Kuti the government wants to allocate a budget. Saka they want to help the most vulnerable of the people in that particular country. They need statistics. Kuziva kuti vanhu vari vulnerable vari kupi. Saka tinovabatsira sei. Mapaona. Saka the study of statistics ultimately takes us to making decisions. But hatidi kungoita make decisions out of emotions, make decisions out of anything or just out of common sense. We want to make decisions which are informed and intelligent. That's why we study statistics. So that's analysis for you. Let us now look at the keyword interpretation. What do we refer to? Kana tichiti interpretation. Saka interpretation refers to the act of explaining or translating numerical results into familiar language. Saka this is the translation of numerical results into familiar language. We are going to see in our study of statistics which we are going to be coming up with a lot of numbers. Tinenge tine numbers anonzi p-value, numbers anonzi test statistic. Murugona, tine new hypothesis, tine alternative hypothesis. Saka we have internalized jargon which we are going to be studying. But in Mimi Manje, we are going to be presenting this before a board. You are going to be presenting this before people who do not know statistics. Saka mukaenda komuchiti, I want to give an example, and this is just preemptive. Don't worry if you do not understand what I'm saying. But let us say moenda before a board muvamati, the p-value in our study is significantly lower than the significance level, so we are going to reject the new hypothesis and make the conclusion that there is statistical significance on what we are studying. Vananongokutarisa iwota ari kuti kudini anopengero. Asi I want you to compare nemunhu anosvika obva ati from the study we have done, we have seen that this medicine helps people lose weight. Murikuona vanhu vanoombera maoko because mataura zvinhu zviri familiar to them. Saka statement yandataura yekutanga yanga ine p-value, significance level, hypothesis, blah blah blah. Statement rinenge riri internal to the statistics community. Kana tazoita hypothesis testing, you are going to understand what I was saying. But kana makuno present the information before other people, it's going to be difficult for them to fathom what you are trying to say. Saka interpretation kutora information yamunenge matanga mambo collector, moita collect, then mova mazoita present and analyze, then you transform it, you translate it into a language which people can use. And in most cases, as the statisticians, we are not the ones who make decisions. Chedu isusu kuenda mfield to collect data, to collect data, to present data, to analyze data rata presenter, tozonotaurira ma-CEO, ma-minister em-government, ma-pastor ekumachechi kwedu, heads of departments in companies, tozonovatsanangurira kuti we did the research and this is what we came about. Ivo ndo vanoita make my decisions. Saka statisticians are usually foot soldiers which are there to help those who make decisions make informed decisions. Mapabata. Saka this is what we are going to be looking at. Of course, tichatarisa collection, presentation, but I assure you that we are the most interested with analysis. Ndo panenge paine basa hombe apa. Then of course, interpretation after we have made conclusions. Saka, the history of statistics, it's very medieval. It's actually prehistoric. statistics dzakatanga with counting. If you are a student of history, if you have done history, even at O level, you understand kuti during the Stone Age and the Khoi and the San communities in Southern Africa, they were very communal. Panga pasina, they did not have the sense of private ownership. But pakatanga kugadzirwa ma-empires in African kingdoms, pakabva patanga kudevelopiwa a sense of private ownership. Mombe dzangu, imba yangu, muri yangu, etc. And mombe dzangu dzakabva dzada kuverengwa kuti munhu azive kuti ingani. Ndo pakatanga now the tally system of counting. Saka the moment humans started to count, ndo pakatanga mathematics, zvakare ndo pakatanga statistics. Saka we can trace the history of statistics to biblical times. Jesus fed 5,000 men with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. That's a statistical statement in that someone was counting. Ndokuziva kuti vanhu vangani uye zvashandiswa kuti vadye zvingani. That's statistics for you as recorded in biblical times. For example, King David conducted a census of Israel. We know that during the birth of Jesus there was a census which mandated Joseph and Mary to go back to their birthplace. And also 3,000 people repented following Peter's sermon. That's in the record of Acts, sermon after Pentecost. All these are examples of statistics which you can find in the Bible. Even in the Code of Hammurabi, which is a text which is as ancient as the Bible itself. Even in stone paintings in caves, which our ancestors did, there is a sense of statistics. So this is a very ancient study. It is important to note that statistics is not just a mathematical tool, but a decision support tool, which is applicable to all disciplines, including but not limited to science, to psychology, to engineering, to planning, to education, and economics. Statistics is a very pivotal, a very vital skill. Zvekuti I can tell you with confidence, hakuna a degree program pasi pezuva hazvinei kuti muri kustudy Shona here kana English at university level isina some form of statistics. Munogona kungoita introductory statistics or munogona kuita specialized statistics, but you are going to do statistics. So doing this at advanced level is something I wish someone told me to do. Statistics is a very powerful tool which is applicable in any discipline. So long you want information on people, you need statisticians, because they are the ones who are skilled, they are the ones who are trained in how to collect, analyze, interpret that said data into applicable, useful information. So I want to write this down more so as a reminder that what you are doing is of vital importance. Saka, statistics is mainly a decision support tool. Applicable, cannot usable in many fields. And my examples ema fields are economics, engineering, planning, etc. Statistics is a decision support tool. That is why analysis yakakosha, because analysis ndo inozoita influence my decisions. In the medical fraternity, we talk about number of people suffering, for example, from a certain ailment. in business, we are concerned about the number of customers visiting a service center and so on. Statistics is therefore a versatile tool applicable in most, if not all, disciplines. And I can say with a level of confidence in every discipline. So long you need information on something, you need the practice and discipline of statistics. The general purpose of statistical analysis is to provide meaning of what otherwise would be a collection of facts, numbers, or of values. You collect a census and you are just going to be seeing numbers, and usually it's presented as a spreadsheet, be it an Excel spreadsheet. Saka ngangori manamba, they are just facts. Muri 50 class menu, so what? Andika? Saka analysis yatinozoita manje ndo inozotanga yokuti when you start to analyze data, you begin to discover certain things which you could not so much know or see by just looking at the spreadsheet. So this is the importance of this particular point. Statistical procedures fall loosely into three groups, namely descriptive, associative, and inferential. Saka we are now getting into the second most important part of this lesson, this introduction to the discipline of statistics. Saka, let us write it as a note. What is this note? Statistics falls into three general disciplines. Simplified it to three general groups, namely we have descriptive. Saka we have what we refer to as descriptive statistics. Tine dzatinoti associative statistics. Tine dzatinoti inferential statistics. Saka these are the three main disciplines dzatinadzo, but remember that fall loosely kureva kuti these are not strict groups, strict categories, strict disciplines. No. Descriptive, associative, inferential, this trungozama kuclassify kuti statistics tinodzita say. At a point we are going to be more inclined towards the descriptive part, at a point the associative, at a point the inferential. And just stay tuned, we are going to be defining these terms. Okay. Saka, kana tichiti descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics represent individuals or events in terms of some predetermined characteristics. And that's what descriptive statistics is all about. I'm going to give you a table which is going to be giving a rough summary of the syllabus we are going to be following and categorizing it in terms of these three main groups of statistics, kanakuti statistical procedure. And I'm going to be describing, kanakuti giving more flesh to each of these three categories on the go. Okay? On one hand, to identify meaningful interrelationships between or among data, tinoshandisa associative statistics. Saka associative, alright, descriptive statistics, it's mainly about describing what we are observing. And associative statistics, takuda uchitsvaga meaningful relationships, interrelationships between or among data. Tatarisa data manje, takuda kuchita derive meaning from data. That's now associative. Taku associate ma data sets edu. Then, on the other hand, to assess the characteristics of a sample in order to make general statements about the parent population or a relationship between different samples or populations, we use inferential statistics. So inferential statistics is very interesting, and I want to dwell on that a little. But let me start by giving you this table. Then we are going to be describing these issues, cannot adding flesh upon them. Okay, this is what we are looking at. Statistics. And we branch off to descriptive statistics, associative statistics, and inferential statistics. Saka descriptive statistics ndo pane data presentation and analysis. We are basically collecting, presenting data. But from that data, what we are the most interested in is to represent individuals or events in terms of some predetermined characteristics. Saka under descriptive statistics, ndo panenge paine data presentation and analysis, probability, the probability of an event happening. We are also going to look at odds of an event happening. Then we are going to compare probability and odds, kufanana nekusiyana kwazo. Chatarisa what we refer to as discrete probability distributions. Saka we are going to have what are referred to as probability distributions. Takatarisa a data set. We are going to have continuous distribution. We are also going to have normal distribution. Remember, this is an introduction. It's just summative. It's not exhaustive. So I'm trying to stir up your interest in the study of statistics. So if I say something you do not understand, I don't intend for you to understand it now. I intend to move an interest in learning. Saka, that is what we are going to look at under descriptive statistics. Associative statistics, regression and correlation, and simple linear regression, I think, ndo yachanya kutarisa. Then we have linear combination of random variables. We are going to look at that. Then inferential statistics, we are going to have what are referred to as sampling distributions. Tinanon's confidence intervals. I'm making a little dance because this is very interesting. Tozoita hypothesis testing. A hypothesis testing, patichaita, we are going to see kuti the moment you learn statistics, you develop your mind to think differently. Because hypothesis testing, so much as the scientific method, it's a way of thinking which is very superior. I cannot preempt enough on that. Then we have what are called chi-square tests. Saka, this is not exhaustive, of course. It's a rough summary of the syllabus we are going to be looking at. Okay, inferential statistics. Let me just discuss a little before we conclude our lesson. And to do so, I am going to give you another diagram. This is the diagram I want to give you. We have a population. Saka, kana chiti population, of course, we use this term usually referring to the population of countries. Zimbabwe, 15 million give or take. South Africa, 65 million give or take. Nigeria, 120 million give or take. America, 350 million give or take. China, 1.1 billion give or take. Africa, 1 billion give or take, for example. But in statistics, kana chiti population tiri kungo taura pamusoro pe a whole set of observations. Saka population is a whole set of observations. Kurauti kana tikafunza kuti muklasi wenyu muri vangani mukati tiri 50, that's a population, because you have given us a whole set of observations. But because data ratoshanda naro and it's not usually in small numbers. We tunoshanda ne data in thousands, millions, if not billions of data objects in a particular data set. Mapaona. Saka, because of logistical reasons, it is going to be difficult to take information on everyone in a population. Ngatishandise generic example yatajaira the population of a country. It's difficult to take information on everyone in a country. But it's also we need to make decisions on a country, and we need information on the people inside the country, in the population. But in statistics, be sure to define population not necessarily as the number of people in a country, but the number of objects, whole set of observations. Saka, what we do is we collect what we refer to as a representative sample. We collect what we refer to as a representative sample. Saka a representative sample, kana makaita agriculture, kana mchida kuziva the pH scale, kana kuti what is it referred to? Kana mchida kuziva the pH status of soil. And kana makaita agriculture, makadzidziswa kuti munoenda munda menyu, then muno collect ma samples evu from different parts of munda wenyu, but you should try to make ma samples awo representative of munda wese, because of course hamukwanisi kutora mavhu ese ari mumunda moenda nawo kulab kunotesta kuti pH status ichi. So you have to take representative parts. Yokutoti panoda mudhumeni anenge achifamba achikudza kuti nokora yapa, because ari trained kugona kuita take a representative sample of soil from your farm. Saka that is the same thing which happens. Samakatarisa panapa, this is a population of people, the whole set, munhu wese ndokuti population. But pa sample pedu manje toda kuti muone how representative things are. Because mukatarisa muchaona kuti panapa we have this old man, and panapa we also have an old man. Saka this old guy, anditi, this old man ari musemba ari kurepresenta old people inside the population. And mukatarisa muchaona kuti this is also happening panapa. Then we have this disabled person, and also this we have a nuclear family, and we also find a nuclear family panapa. Saka that's an example of how representative. Saka kuti tiwane ma results ari reliable, asiri biased, the sample should be representative. Okay. Saka let us say kuti we are interested in knowing the mean, cannot average weight of people in a country. Ndo zvatiri kuda kuziva the average, rekaititi average weight and of people in a country. What we are interested in, we refer to it as a parameter. Number yacho, here the average weight of people, inonzi a parameter. And kana tichida kuitaura in statistical terms, tinenge tichiti it is a mu. Saka a mu weight. Kuti mu weight ndo zinoreva kuti mean weight kana kuti average weight. Saka kuti tuwane a parameter, kana chiti parameter, we define it as a numerical descriptor. A numerical descriptor of a population. What we are referring to is kuti tiwane the average weight of people in a population. Let's take Zimbabwe. Kwanga kuri kufamba door to door, tichisa munhu wese pa scale, tichirecord. How many households do we have? They are in the millions. It's logistically impossible. That is the reason why a census is very expensive, and it's done on average once per decade. Murukona. Saka kana tichida kuziva the average weight of people in Zimbabwe, maybe tiruda kuona kuti tine rain, obesity, pandemic or whatever, hatikwanise kufamba door to door tichitora weight yemunhu wese. What we do is tinotora a sample from the people of Zimbabwe, a representative sample. We need statisticians who are going to tell us what are the parameters, what is the criterion of having this representative sample. Saka tatora a representative sample yevanhu. Saka sample ka chatiri kuti sample igroup revanhu riri kurepresenta nyika yese. That's what a sample is. Saka from a sample, then sample yedu taanayo takuchiti munhu wese ngaende pascale. Saka sample yedu inogona kuva nevanhu 1000 munyika ine vanhu 1 million. Muri kuzviona? But kana tanyatso kuiselecta iri representative enough, that will be enough. Mapaona? Saka tatora sample yedu, what we are going to get from a sample is what we refer to as a statistic. Saka the mean kana kuti average weight yevanhu vari musample ndiyo inonzi a statistic. Kana chiti statistic, this is a numerical descriptor of a sample. A numerical descriptor of a sample. That is what we are referring to. Saka ultimately zvinozoitika ndezvekuti then panapa we can say this is an X bar weight. Saka zvinozongoitika pano hama dzangu ndezvekuti tichatora this weight ndiyo the mean weight ndiyo ino approximate the population weight like this. Saka tiri kuti average weight in sample is roughly equal to the average weight in population. Saka roughly equal ndoko kuti approximately equal to toshandisa this sign, average weight in population. Saka zvatataura panapa, this is the basis of what we refer to as inferential statistics. To infer is to approximate. Saka we use statistics, which is the numerical descriptor of a sample, number yatawana from sample, to approximate the parameter kureva kuti number yatinoda kuwana from the whole population. Saka this was just there as an introduction. It was there as an introduction. This is what we had for this lesson. Kana mune zvamadzidza, may you please consider subscribing, liking and sharing. If you want to join our class learning advanced level statistics, you can WhatsApp us on +263 71 521 3310. Thank you and take care.